as we welcome in the puffy dress herself, 1320 host and contributor, our very own Olivia Christian. Olivia, you're a Warriors fan. I'm sure you're hyped for game one tonight.
I'm stressed.
See, and you're hugging a green pillow. I think you're conflicted. I think you kind of like the Celtics.
No, that's not what that means. My couch is green. There's no way around it. I've been afraid of this matchup the entire playoffs. I think it's a toss-up. Of course, like you said, I'm a Warriors fan, but I've been scared. I'm like, please, Miami, beat the Celtics, because I don't know. I don't know if we can take them on. They have, when I talk about the Kings all the time, I talk about the fact that I want them to be gritty, to be hungry and get after it. And that's what I see in the Celtics team. And the Warriors, obviously, they have passion, they have finesse, they have the movement. I also like, they are constantly running plays, getting people open. But, I just feel like this is going to be a tough one. It may go to 7 games. I'm not feeling super confident. I'm hopeful, but I'm stressed.
Right now, I picked the Celtics to win in 6. I'm going to do something that it's fine. And hell, it's my prediction. I do whatever the hell I want to do. I got Boston in 6. If the Warriors win, I think it would be Warriors in 5. That's how I think it will go. Yeah. I don't, it could go 7. It could, but I think if the Warriors win the series and they're able to figure out what they have to do against Boston, once they figure it out, I'm not sure if Boston has enough in the tank to go to plan B in time to stop the Warriors. So, yeah.
Well, that's one thing I'm thinking about. The Celtics might be emotionally worn. They're physically worn. They're new to the playoffs. A lot of the players haven't been there. So it's like that might be something that catches up with them.
Well, they're new to the finals. They're not new to the playoffs. They're new to the finals, but they're definitely not new to the playoffs.
Right. But just, they keep talking about, they've been talking about it since, we knew who was going to the finals, that it's so much bigger. It's so much bigger than just the playoffs. And a lot of times, those first teams get there and they're wiped out because they just weren't expecting it to be as big as it was. I think the Celtics have their management, their coach, they've got enough players on the team to be like, get it all out, get the energy out. We understand this is big, this is huge. Now we got to finish this. That's why I think it's a toss-up, because that it might work in their favor that they just finished on Sunday, but it may come to a point where they're just worn out emotionally and mentally, and the Warriors might take advantage of that.
I keep saying it's different when Rihanna's watching you. When Riri's sitting there watching you, it's different.
Yeah, but I think there also has to be something said for the fact that I understand it's the NBA Finals. It's different. Like, I get that. But, think about what this Boston team has done. They've gone through Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. They've gone through Giannis Antetokounmpo and the defending NBA champions. It's not like they beat I don't mean this to shit. It's not like they beat the Atlanta Hawks along the way, or they beat the Charlotte Hornets. Like, they beat dogs on their way to get here. They've been in huge series,
right,
their whole road here. And I understand, I get it. The NBA Finals is different, but they've had marquee matchups since the playoffs have started for them. So
that's why
I'm not making that as big of a factor as everybody else is. Sorry,
I'm sorry. I think it's a toss-up for that reason, because it can be the fact they could rely on the fact that they've run through some really amazing players. And teams that were well built and who a lot of folks thought would stop them on this run. But when you get to the finals, apparently, I've obviously not played in the finals. It is a whole other layer of stuff that you're dealing with, and a mentality that you have to be prepared for. If that weren't the case, former players or players who are in the game who have won championships would not be talking about the finals the way that they do, about how intense it is. So clearly, it's something else. But like you said, they've run through a lot of great teams, and they're a formidable opponent, and that is why I am scared for the Warriors. I think the Warriors are going to win in 6. That's my take, but it'll be close. I think it's going to be a dogfight. There might be a couple of blowouts, because that's the season we've been having, the playoffs we've been having, random blowouts here or there. But I think when it comes down to it, it's going to be a dogfight, and it's going to be close.
We've asked everyone this question. We'll ask you, Maybacko, who is the best player in this series?
Oh man, I hate doing the best player thing because it can shift from here to. I just think what the Warriors do, I think really well, and you know what the Celtics kind of do great too, is a different player steps up. Andrew Wiggins came in big time and just became a different person, or he became who he was before the break. You know, like it was like, oh yeah, he woke up again, he's back. And of course, Jordan Poole has been huge. And I think those core players just have to play within themselves, and they've been there before. So hopefully they do that. But it's going to take one or two other guys to step up on a different night to shake it up for the Warriors. Now, the Celtics, they've had a lot of injuries. And that, because of that, I think they've had some of those games like with the Heat where all of a sudden they lose by 20 and then they win by 20, and it's nuts. So I think foundationally, Jason Tatum has got to show up. I think he will. And I think the other guys have to stay in the game. They can't get in foul trouble. And if they all just do what they know how to do, and that's get after it, get loose balls, body these guys, it's going to be tough. So I don't really think about one person. I just think about all of them doing the thing they've done to get to the finals. Just stay consistent with who you are.
What a cop-out answer.
That is a cop-out, yeah.
That's a cop-out. You should be ashamed of yourself. You'll never
I can't. It's
a hot take business of sports radio. You're never going to make it, kid. Okay. Well, let's be honest. You're picking who's wearing longer shorts anyways.
Oh, yeah.
Which one of these guys got their thighs? As our man Stephen Brown said when you join the stream, put your thighs away, gentlemen. Olivia Christian is here.
Jordan Poole's shorts are pretty short, but he wears those long. I don't know what they are. The compression,
the compression pants.
Yes.
Jordan Poole. What was it at? I don't remember. Was it media day yesterday or at practice when he was rocking the excessively short shorts? Oh, Lord.
Just go ahead and what are streets calling them right now, Olivia? What are they calling them? You know what they're calling them?
No,
he's calling them the Hoochie Daddy shorts.
Believe it.
He's wearing the Hoochie Daddy joints.
Did you see Jason Jones's guide to the Hoochie Daddy shorts?
I did, and I saw that you tagged Casey, and I was like, yes, this is what I'm talking about. I feel like after we had this discussion, it blew up even more on social media, or at least
it did.
My phone is listening to me, and they know that I was talking about thighs extensively. So then I started seeing all these thigh conversations. But I saw a bunch of like videos on Instagram and TikTok, like women encouraging other women to catcall men. Like, I see you over there with them thighs. I'm like, give you a feeling of what it's like.
I got a pair of shorts in the mail the other day, and as soon as I opened the package, I put, okay. I was like, let's see. They're clearly short. Let's see how short. They are definitely the shortest pair of shorts I own. But I don't hate them. You
can't hate them because it's all love now, man. It's what we got to do. It's hot out here. It's not 2003.
Oh my goodness. The fact that you keep telling me what year it is, I think is hilarious. But I get it. It's 2022. And you know what? I received a lot of DMs from people who were very upset with me about my jersey take. The take on and the thighs and the calves. And I don't really mind it. I did get one really nice DM, a guy apologizing, saying he hopes that I took it in good fun. And I was like, let me go back and read the chat. What did you say? You felt the need to apologize. And what he wrote wasn't bad at all. But, generally, I've come on here a number of times telling people that I do not like to tell people how to be a fan. Like, if you want to take off your shirt and go to Lambeau Field and watch a game in January and just scream and freeze your nipples off, go ahead, be a fan. And I made that suggestion of, if you're old enough to be a player's dad, but you're not his actual dad, maybe don't wear his jersey. That's just me. But be a fan the way you want to be a fan. Of course, I don't mean to personally attack anyone who wants to both wear the name of another man's name on his jersey with another man's name on it, or show off your thighs. I do recommend good calves, though. I'm sticking with that. Good calves will take you a long way, I'm telling you.
That's you're not moving off that. I don't have no problem with that. You gotta have your calves right. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Got to bring leg day. Leg day's got to be strong, guys. Come on, man. Let's make leg day strong. Let's bring leg day back in the gym. There was a story that I wanted to mention before Olivia joined us, but I think it'd be even better to mention it now that she's here with us. I mentioned LeBron James achieved something. Oh, you got your own water. Wow. When I say the girl got her own water, I mean the girl got her own water. I just sorry to ignore the 13:20 a.m. and Odyssey audience. Olivia just held up a bottle that had her name on it, which is what I responded to like a child. I had mentioned LeBron James did something that not even Michael Jordan did. And he became the first active NBA player to become a billionaire. He, I guess, is the third overall as Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan both hit that status after retirement. But LeBron James becomes the first active NBA player to become a billionaire. And I do think it's funny. Certainly when we talk about Kobe, we're talking three of the greatest of all time. I think most people would say whether you have LeBron at one or Mike at one, LeBron James and Michael Jordan, you're talking the two greatest of all time. And I think it's interesting that both of those guys and all three of those guys are also as savvy as they are outside off the basketball court as they were on.
Is it adjusted for inflation that he's still like Michael wouldn't have been a billionaire if we like while he was playing? Do we know that?
I did not. I did not. I would have to guess even with inflation, he wouldn't have been because of the contract. I mean, even if you adjusted for inflation, like his contract, those contracts weren't even remotely close to what LeBron has made virtually his entire career.
Yeah.
It's like watching Winning Time and Magic Johnson's like, I'm gonna make $90,000. Oh my goodness.
He said, I need $600,000.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Nobody's getting $600,000.
Or was what was it, the 20-year, $20 million contract that he signed with the Lakers?
Wow.
Yeah.
Now I'm getting into the inflation thing. Let's just also be clear. I don't really trust Forbes because wasn't Forbes the same company that said Kanye West was worth like multiple billions of dollars? It was like, no, he's not.
They might have been.
Forbes, maybe that was somebody else.
And also when you talk about that, like when they talk about it, it's like your assets, right? So if he, if he sold off everything he owed or something like that and cashed in everything, after everything sold, he would have $1 billion or something like that. That's essentially how they get that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Here's the breakdown of LeBron's billion. The Spring Hill Company is worth $300 million. That's more than a game.
That's not the production company.
That is, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Fenway Sports Group, real estate. He has $80 million in real estate. The Fenway Sports Group is $90 million. Blaze Pizza, some familiar with Blaze Pizza. That's $30 million. Cash and other investments, more than $500 million. That's all it says. It doesn't mention how much money he gets for Clutch Sports, which I'm sure that's off the record money for LeBron James.
Yeah, that's off the record. Did they mention Nike?
Nope. I assume that's under cash and other investments.
Well, I like the way LeBron has gone about his business. I think there were a number of players who learned from him how to diversify early in their career and capitalize on the stardom that they have now to set themselves up for when they retire. And if you watch old 30 for 30s, like I've been recently, you learn about all those players who were just snorting up their cash and throwing in at hoes and they look around at 35, they're retired, and it's like, what's next? So, I don't
all they got on their list of endorsements is the Rolls Royces that they bought.
I was watching the Mets, the 84 to 87 Mets 30 for 30 the other day. I don't know how I missed that earlier. I don't know when it came out. It was a reason. Yeah, it was really good. And I remember feeling so sad. I was pretty young when it came out, but like Darryl Strawberry story, Doc Gooding story, and it's just how they became addicts, and Keith Hernandez and him getting into stuff. And the way they lived their lives, that whole team just playing hard on and off the field, just like, oh, we are rewarding ourselves tonight. We are getting after it. But then how it kind of rolled into a lot of financial trouble for them, health troubles for them. And then obviously it showed itself up on the field. But it just when I think about LeBron and what players are doing now, some of them might be doing some of that stuff, but they could get caught so easily. Mm-hmm. And back then it seemed like even to be glorified by like some of that stuff was public. They were in the papers. There were, some shots of them by the media going in and out of clubs, but obviously it's not like what it is today. But it seems, at least from the 30 for 30s I'm watching, it was kind of like, yes, it's the good time Neds. They're out there doing their thing, crushing beers and getting high on the bus, on the plane, and then landing and then killing it. And now would be so highly scrutinized. Obviously, it would be days and days and so many think pieces and Twitter threads and things breaking it down about how America is going to the toilet because these guys are having, it's just insane how, one generation or a generation and a half later, how much it's changed.
Yeah. Well, you guys know what the, I don't know if the rumor is the right word. It's a rumor that LeBron is going to be part of an ownership group for the expansion teams. One of them. That's
an NBA expansion team.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
he may play and be part of the ownership group, or just go straight.
I don't think he can.
Well, I was going to say that would seem like a conflict if you're.
Yeah, I don't think he can.
No, I'm saying not like own him when he's playing, but it'll be lined up for.
Oh,
it's Vegas. Like he'll go to Vegas. Like, why is he going to Vegas? Oh, it's because when he's done, he's going to own the team.
Yeah. LeBron, I also think, was one of the first, at least the first guys of that level that I can think of that really started to kind of like tell their own story. Mm-hmm. Like they like I know the decision is killed and it's destroyed, and rightfully so for a variety of reasons. But I think that was his first like step out into like I'm going to be in charge of how this is conveyed. Mm-hmm. I'm going to say why my decision live on television so everybody can hear it directly from me, and it can't be written about and deciphered. You're going to hear it straight from me. And I think that stuff, it birthed like the Players Tribune and I think that was Jeter's. I think Derek Jeter started the Players Tribune. And then, I said the name that catches Olivia's heart and Derek Jeter. And then, of course, the Uninterrupted and all of that. And I guess Jeter, in a sense, knows about telling his own story. I think that was wasn't that his first thing after retirement? Like he helped launch that I guess just a website, but he helped launch that movement.
Yeah, I think that was one of the first moves he made, if not the first, being part of that ownership group, the Players Tribune, letting players be able to tell their story directly. Usually, I think it started off with just like letter writing. I mean, it wasn't necessarily like articles. It was like, hey, fans, or to everyone I loved on the road who cheered on, a lot of people who were retiring or explaining a particular situation. It's evolved since then. But yeah, I think that was one of the first instances with how you described it, LeBron really kind of taking charge of his image, of his words, and wanting to present something in a particular way. And then, of course, with social media, everyone can do that. And the rest of us are basically giving our hot takes based on what we see and read from them directly, for better or for worse.
Yeah. And the Players Tribune also gave us the great meme that lives forever, and that's Kevin Durant going.
My next chapter.
Well, I think last time I saw him, he was going to the South Carolina Gamecocks.
Like for Don Staley. That's amazing. I didn't look this up, Olivia. Did Derek Jeter join Twitter?
He did.
Yeah. So exciting. He joined like
tweeting, he's trolling. Yeah, he's doing some good stuff.
Yeah, and I saw a tweet from I saw a tweet from Reggie Jackson, who I follow, saying like, hey, welcome to Twitter. I heard once you retire as a Yankee, you're in the Hall of Fame, the next thing you do is join Twitter. And I was like, oh, my two guys, Reggie Jackson and Derek Jeter. I love it.
El Capitan.
Well, that's the captain. He has I don't know. I don't know what it is. Like a 30 for 30 type movie coming out. I keep saying
Yeah,
30 for 30.
it's like a Last Dance.
Follows Hoda.
Right?
That's just funny to me. Like he follows Hoda.
Who's that?
He follows like the Yankees and Dick Vitale, and he follows Alex Rodriguez, and then he follows Hoda.
Maybe somebody else is in charge of his follows. He's like, tell me to follow people. Go ahead and go in there and follow people.
Who's Hoda?
She's on the Today Show.
Today Show.
Wow. Well,
yeah.
First of all, I'm not up that early. Second of all,
that's true. You're not
turning into the Today Show.
The Today Show. I've never heard of this, but what is it?
Is Al, what's his name? Al Roker? Is he still on there?
I think so.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I don't know if Al Roker's Today or Good Morning America. I'm not
He's the Today Show. I don't watch the Today Show, but I know that it exists and it has for like 70 years or something.
Yeah.
Al Roker is still on there. That is funny that he follows Hoda. She's not
because it's so random. But he also follows Alex Rodriguez, which I feel like is a thing.
That's his boy.
Well, there's like a 30-second clip or something about the captain, the series, the doc that he put together. And two things stood out to me in the 30 seconds. Actually, the whole thing was pretty cute. I love it. I can't wait. But he said, like, there's a quote from A-Rod. A-Rod's like, yeah, I asked him if we were okay. That's when, he joined the Yankees and it was like, who's playing shortstop? And A-Rod had to go to third base. And A-Rod says, yeah. And Derek was like, uh-huh. But it was like clearly tension.
Mm-hmm.
And they be, so close. They came into the league together. So I'm excited about hearing Derek's perspective on that relationship. And then Jeter even says in there, like, there's a clip of him saying, like, if there had been phones when he was playing, his career would have lasted 3 years. Because of how he was living his life. Young and attractive and dating a lot of the beige women. He was really into beige colored women, which is fine, as long as they had good calves. But he's going to show. He was in the limelight, obviously, in New York, the biggest lights in sports media. So I'm looking forward to him dissecting that. But I really want to hear like this A-Rod conversation, how they kind of reformed the friendship. They did, really.
Because that's kind of a crazy situation, especially since A-Rod was so much better than Derek Jeter. And A-Rod moved to third. Like A-Rod was, and that's not even, I know it sounds like a dig at Derek Jeter. It's not. Like A-Rod was
he was great.
Yeah. He was sick. And
the thing is, though, like, could you move Derek at that point in his career
yeah.
He was already Mr. October, or
that's but the crazy dynamic about that is like A-Rod, and once again, not trying to shade Derek Jeter, but he was so much better. Like when you think about the position of shortstop, like A-Rod was, you need that arm, you need, that athleticism. He had it all, but even he, and this is where it's not a knock on Derek, it's actually probably a nod to the reverence of Derek Jeter. It was like, no, I'll go to third to make it work for you, Derek, because it doesn't matter if I think I'm better or anybody thinks I'm better. This is your spot. This is your team. I'll move. And
A-Rod was ready to win. He was hungry, so he had to do what he had to do. And I'm sure they had those conversations long before he signed the contract where he was going to be position-wise. But yeah, I mean, Alex was an amazing shortstop. And when he got his ring in 2009, I was very excited for him. He'd been through a lot. And I know there's a lot of hate for Alex because of, what he participated in legally and illegally. But at the core of it, he was a good baseball player. He was an amazing player. So I was happy for him to get that ring. But I'm really, like I said, dying to see the captain. It doesn't come out till like early July or something.
But this year, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
That's why I think Derek is on Twitter right now. Like starting to get the conversation going so people are ready to watch it.
Does he need like a little bit of like image rehab? Because his stint with the Marlins like stunk. He was terrible. And then on the other hand, like in wrestling, this would be a double turn. It felt like Derek Jeter kind of became a heel and Alex Rodriguez became a babyface. Like he started doing the TV stuff and endearing himself a little bit more. Then he was with J-Lo. Yeah, he was with Jennifer Lopez, and like it's like, oh, Alex, oh, he's just so cute. Oh, look at the families together. Oh, it's so good. And oh, Jeter screwing this thing up in Florida. Good God, what's wrong with him? It feels like maybe he needs a little cleanup.
Well, one second, Olivia. I would agree with you, Damien, if anybody cared about the Marlins.
That's what I was going to say. I think he disappeared. Nobody was really paying attention to that.
No, but that's the thing, though. I agree with you. No one cares about the Florida Marlins, but they care about Derek Jeter.
Yeah,
like,
but
you care that the Florida Marlins think. You're like, wow, Derek Jeter's really bad at this.
But I would say that to say, and maybe I'm being a little facetious when I say this, people didn't even know that happened.
Oh, I don't think that's true.
Oh, the people didn't even know that happened.
I don't think.
First of all, he's not the first person to ruin the Marlins. That's just what the Marlins do.
Derek Jeter, though.
Yeah, but it's almost like Sacramento.
Jordan bought the Bobcats, for God's sake.
But what I'm saying is it's almost like Sacramento. Like if Derek Jeter came and ruined the Kings, nobody'd be like, dang, Derek Jeter ruined the Kings. It'd be like the Kings are always
did. It would be different.
Yeah, but they'd be like, it's not Jordan's fault. It's the Kings.
I disagree.
Sacramento. The Marlins always think.
I'm with Kenny on this. The Marlins have been terrible forever. I don't think Derek did an additional, he layered on another form of terribleness. They just kept it going. But people who like Derek probably kept up with it. Like me, I was like feeling bad for him but it was like the first time he had real failure in his career. And it's kind of public and that it's obviously a public team, but he was still sitting in the booth. He was in the back. He didn't really... he wasn't like he was a GM or a coach that was out there every day. He was kind of hidden. So I think that's why he's kind of unscathed in that. He just I left, I'm moving on. Here's the captain. Oh my gosh, look at my new movie. And I'm on Twitter. Follow me.
We'll talk more with Olivia Christian when we return. We'll talk about the NBA Finals, which are beginning tonight. Boston Celtics, the Golden State Warriors. Of course, you could catch that here on ESPN 1320. Lots more ahead here with D'Lo and KC on Sacramento's #1 sports station, ESPN 1320.
Sorry, we got through all my topics. I can go now.
I'm like, uh-oh.
So back to thighs. That's what we're
might bring the wire. Might bring the wire back. I gotta find that black movie post because I feel like Olivia hasn't seen any of these.
Olivia, over under 25.
Under. Way under.
Like maybe it knows me a little bit better.
I think you're going under too. Woo.
I have seen The Wire, though. I have seen The Wire. I do need to rewatch it.
Well, is anybody, I think I asked Amy this before, anybody watching We Own This Town? We Run This Town? We Run This City? Something.
I haven't watched that yet, no.
I haven't watched it yet. It's We Own the city, the town, something like that.
Yeah, it's supposedly phenomenal.
Really?
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
Is it Baltimore again?
Yeah, it's Baltimore. They said it is phenomenal. I love Baltimore. I really enjoy my time when I go to Baltimore.
I think I've been once or twice, but I haven't really done it up. I ran in for work and then left. But I just want to apologize to the people who keep telling me that my audio is quite shitty, and I know it is. I'm sorry. The ceiling is very high. The walls are bare. My floors are cement. There's really nothing I can do.
Well, she's saying, look, I'm rich. I'm sorry. I apologize for being successful and wealthy. What you want me to do?
I did not mean it that way at all. I just know it's not the best, but
we've dealt with much worse. much worse. We should just get you a microphone, kind of grab some of that sound.
I need to practice with you when we're on the air because I do have a professional mic. I use it when I'm recording voiceover, but I obviously don't use it here. But I'm not sure if it would work. But we just need time to do it.
Yeah, well, let's try that. Let's try that before next week.
Somebody made me this, by the way.
I saw your sister for a few minutes on Monday. She was driving back from seeing your dad and your other sister, I think.
Yeah, my other sister lives in Denmark.
That's right.
Oh, wow.
And she was visiting my mom. My mom had surgery on her knee. And so the Danish sister is helping my mom out, and my Shonda went to visit and hang out.
Yeah.
We're all just falling apart.
Apparently. Yeah, apparently.
Did you guys barbecue or something?
No, I just picked Iowa up from the airport and took him home and ran in a second just to say hi.
Ah.
Indiana versus Wisconsin from 2002. Devin Harris is in this game.
Oh my.
Jared Jeffries is in this game. That's really about it.
Oh boy. Why are you watching that again?
I don't know. I turned it to ESPN Plus to like put on some Duke game, like to watch Paolo, and it was when they blew out North Carolina. I moved on. I was like, oh look, they got classic games on. And I tried to get the latest game I could possibly get. Background fodder. I don't even have noise. I don't know what's going on. This is what happens when there's no day baseball. Oh, there's got to be some day baseball right now.
The Yankees were rained out, weren't they? They're supposed to have a doubleheader.
Yeah, they end up playing. They beat the Angels. Oh, what's his name supposed to? Doubleheader. Otani's pitching tonight, or I don't know. I guess they're not playing. Yeah, they're playing tonight. Otani's pitching at Yankee Stadium.
Coach Molly says Olivia is my favorite, and she's gonna miss the game tonight because she's going to see New Kids and Salt and Pepper instead. I ain't even mad at you.
Where are they at?
Golden One.
Really?
Yeah. Hang on.
Ah.
Live on the Odyssey app, live on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook Live as well. I'll finish that conversation. Coach Molly tapped in, says she was going to miss game 1 tonight because she's going to the New Kids on the Block and Salt and Pepper instead. And Kenny said, "Where's that at?" I said, "At the Golden One Center." You sounded surprised.
Yeah, I didn't know they were coming. I didn't know they were coming to Sacramento. I'd love to see Salt and Pepper. I used to have the major crush on Pepper when I was a young KC.
Around 7 or 8 years old, Casey.
7, 8, or 9. One of those. Actually, I still like Pepper.
I was on stage with Salt and Pepper downtown. I don't remember what the name of the event was. It was a KSFM event. I have a very funny video of Salt. I don't know how to describe it. I've never posted it on social media, but I'll show it. I'll show it to those that are on Twitch and YouTube if I can figure out how to get mine. It's something. It's something for sure. But
I love Salt too, by the way.
I've seen those New Kids on the Block concerts, man. They gonna be rocking in there.
They're gonna go crazy in there. Huh?
Every 40, 45, 50-year-old. Oh, it's gonna be turned. Boy,
they dance hard, sweating it.
Yeah, they're gonna be. There's a couple other people there too, and I think Rick Ashley is one of them. I can't remember who. Someone else is gonna be there.
I usually don't miss final games. I remember I missed the finals game.
En Vogue, that's who's there. En Vogue.
Oh, hello.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Was it? Yeah. En Vogue in the house.
Yeah.
I wasn't a New Kids girl. I didn't grow up loving New Kids. They seem too cheesy for me, even as like an 8-year-old. Nah.
They took New Edition's whole style.
Well, all the boy bands did for a couple of like a decade there. They're all doing the coordinated outfits and the microphones, and like they all had their kind of roles. Like, this is the bad boy, like the Bobby Brown guy, and they had their characters. And then they all retired, and you find out, they're completely different. But going back and being able to, if you were into New Kids or En Vogue or any of them, I can imagine those concerts just being amazing. I haven't gone to any like throwback kind of concerts like that.
Yeah. Well, New Edition was just here. Well, they were in Stockton, I think, about a month ago.
Were they really?
Yeah.
Oh,
It was a big it was like New Edition, John B, Jagged Edge, Genuine. Like it was a dope show. I didn't go, but
you know what those shows are? You know what you like that sounds good, but like like V101 will have, the Holiday Fest where it's like Rapping Forte and Bone Thugs and Harmony and like this complete hodgepodge of artists that probably cost like $1,000 a piece to get here.
Yeah.
That's essentially that's like the equivalent of just putting on like your 1990s playlist at home, turning it up really loud and singing with your friends. Like you could save yourself money by doing just that, because that's all you're going to do at the concert anyways. And chances are they're just going to be playing the song in the background.
Right.
Anyways, like they're like with Jagged Edge and Genuine, they're actually singing. And I know New Kids on the Block are going to be singing In Vogue, same thing. But like some of those concerts, you can go like, I'll just put the iPhone on and turn the volume up.
Charlie Wilson still sings.
Oh, yeah, Charlie Wilson's a musician.
Charlie go crazy on stage.
Yeah. We mentioned earlier The Wire debuted 20 years ago today. Did you watch The Wire?
I did, not in real time though. I think I maybe watched the last season real time, but I binged the first few. Which is weird because when I think about it now, I'm like, The Wire was so heavy. It was so heavy.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember feeling sad about it. I'm like, all right, next episode. And just kept going. But I remember a lot of folks feeling emboldened with the N-word because of that show. That show, that word was out there a lot. So, and it's, a lot of times when it's out there in pop culture, people think it's licensed to say it. And I'm like, clearly you're watching The Wire right now. That is a television show.
Right.
Do not bring that out.
Right.
I think the N-word has made a comeback this year for different reasons.
Oof. Yeah. They
just let that linger out there for a little while. Let it linger out there.
I was gonna say, the fact that you said you weren't watching The Wire live, I mean, that's like Damien brought up. I mean, I feel like that's probably more than half of the people who have seen The Wire. Like a lot of people were late to it, didn't watch it. I know I didn't watch it live. It wasn't even on my radar until like the 4th season. But man, that's probably one of the series as well that has the most rewatchability. Like you watch it again and there's little things you probably didn't pick up on before. Still entertaining, all that other stuff, man. It's an all-timer for sure.
That's why I think I need to watch it again, because 20 years ago I was young and I had a particular perspective on what I was seeing. And I think now it's likely a little bit different. And like you said, there's so many different like nuances and pieces that I probably missed. And those writers were just amazing. And I think if you go back and watch it, you'll be like, wow, you threw in some stuff that I wasn't, young Olivia was not aware of.
Right.
But it's really smart and sad and heavy about,
It's amazing how some of those shows like Based in the Street are like, you could watch The Wire today and not acknowledge that it was 20 years ago. Like it still fits today. You'll still see the same issues. You could watch an episode of The Wire and read about a real life issue that mirrored that in the newspaper the following day.
Yeah. Yep. That's the depressing part of it. But that show made so many careers too. Like all of the like Idris Elba, Michael B. Jordan, like there's so many actors who, got on that world stage as a result of being on this like small show.
Right.
On this very heavy and particular city, this topic that's just like, and how it reached so much fame and crossed so many different cultural lines is a testament, again, like I said, to the writing and to the people who are on there and just the impact it had culturally. The fact that folks are doing podcasts about it 20 years later.
Writing books about it.
Huge. Almost as big as The Office, I'd say.
Well, the one thing that The Wire has that is like when you've made another level is those actors that you talked about, very accomplished, have done a lot of things. Idris to a lot of people is still Stringer Bell. You know, Wood Harris is still Avon Barksdale to a lot of people. Wood Harris has been all over the place. But, Avon, okay. Bunk, all this other stuff, man. The McNulty, there's still those guys to a lot of people who watch that show.
I bet it's hilarious when they like just kind of walk down the street and people are yelling their Wired names at them.
It feels like it would be cool, but you hear it so many times. Like I think the last one, who was the last one to just come out? Oh, it was I was gonna say no, but Carlton came out. He's like, I'm not really Carlton. I wish people would stop calling me that. I wish they'd stop asking me to do the Carlton dance. I'm not that person. The guy who plays Victor Newman is like that. Like he'll get mad if you call him Victor Newman. Eric Braden. Like, don't call me Victor Newman. I'm not Victor Newman.
Well, I think most people are like that. Like I don't think anyone finds that enduring. I don't know that people like they might say the right thing on the reunion special, but I don't think people like to be associated, especially actors want to be associated with one singular like character. Like I knew like Mario Lopez was the same way. And which is funny because this was well before like, you know, Saved by the Bell made a comeback. Like, don't call me Slater. like that's not cute or fun and endearing like at all to me. I think most actors are that way. And I think there's a line. I don't remember if it was James Avery or Quincy Jones, but someone told Will Smith when they started Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, make your name Will. Because if this show takes off, they're going to call you by whatever your name is on this show for the rest of your life. It's like, make your name Will.
Right.
That needs to be the character's name. And that was part of why his name was Will Smith.
And some of that too, I think I'm not in that spot. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's easy for me to say. But like when they get kind of bent out of shape about it, like part of me is like, settle down. Like they don't even know your name. They know you as Carlton. They know you as Zach. So when they see you, it's almost unless they're being jerks about it, it's like somebody sees it. Oh, AC Slater. Like they're not saying it to be a jerk. They're just looking. They recognize you as AC Slater. There's no malice behind it. Like that's just kind of how they.
I think in most cases, there's probably no malice behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's all about how you do it, right? Especially for actors who are trying to get different roles and be seen as somebody beyond just Slater or beyond Stringer Bell. Like they don't want to be associated just with that role.
Mm-hmm.
But like, if I were Alfonso, I would be like, you want me to dance for you?
No, that's crazy. No, that's just damn crazy.
Right? Like,
no.
You might just say, "Oh my gosh, I loved you, Carlton," and be like, "Yeah, thanks, we'll take a picture." But like, dance for me, like, no.
Yeah, we're not doing that. We got a problem.
Just for the record, don't ever ask anyone to dance. just save yourself the trouble. Like, don't ever ask.
Yeah, don't do that. Uncle Jesse could never recover. Uncle Jesse, his career never got past Uncle Jesse.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's done a lot of homework.
John Stamos,
he's had shows. Yeah, John Stamos. He's had shows, and it's almost like Zach Morris or Mark Paul Glosser. He had other shows or whatever, but he was always Zach.
I don't think I would ever call John Stamos Uncle Jesse, even though like I know that's what he's from, most famous for. But I feel like his name John Stamos is pretty. No,
I think I would start with Uncle Jesse and then go, I mean John Stamos. Right. Like I saw him out of nowhere, like, oh.
Right.
That's just that show wasn't my bag. Like I don't know what Bob.
Full House?
I don't know what Bob Saget's name was on the show. Danny. Danny Tanner. That's what it is. Okay, yeah. I just realized that. Okay.
Yeah. You didn't like Full House? Full House was dope.
No, I didn't mind it. No, it was fine. I was 7. No, that was a joke. I don't know.
High pitched voice. I don't know. It's cool.
That's right. Yeah. Was it Full House into Family Matters?
Full House, Family Matters, Step by Step, Mr.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, they had a whole song for Friday night shows. Do you remember this? It's Friday night.
Yeah, for TGIF. Something like that.
Okay. What is
Damien's like, oh, calm down. Go drink first.
what would Dwayne Johnson's most famous would he just be The Rock?
The Rock.
That'd be it. Just
The Rock.
do you think people know The Rock? Like if you ask the average person today, do you think they know The Rock is a wrestler?
It depends on the generation. Like we're old enough. We started with him as The Rock, and then other people will know him from Moana and Disney movies and things like that. And they might
just know his nickname is The Rock, though. They might not know why.
That's true. That's true. Because they even in titles they say Dwayne The Rock Johnson. They never leave.
Yeah, they do.
And this was probably like 5 years ago. We asked your niece if she knew who The Rock was. She said no. And we said, "Do you know who Dwayne Johnson is?" She was like, "Yeah."
Yeah, but Morgan would never know. She would not know the name of a pro wrestler. Like that's not a thing. But again, she's 14 now, so 5 years ago, yeah, she would never have any idea.
But she knew who Dwayne was.
Yes. He was in movies by then.
Yeah.
He was an actor.
Yeah. And I feel like the Dwayne The Rock Johnson thing came later. Like he severed The Rock for a while, and it was Dwayne Johnson. That was like Tooth Fairy era Dwayne. And then, someone told him, and I think it was William Morris Endeavor, I don't remember what agency it was like, yeah, that's a bad idea. Skinny. You don't look normal now. Let's go ahead and go back to what made you you. And he's like, great. And then he puts like 50 pounds back on. The Rock is back. And then he becomes Dwayne The Rock Johnson. And he's the biggest movie star in the world.
Oh, I don't think I saw him as small at some point.
I mean, small in comparison to what he is. Like, yeah. Like even from like early, like Rocky Maivia, like early wrestling, The Rock, he was like chunky. And then like the thing for the Scorpion King came up, and then he got leaner, but he got like a lot more shredded. You saw his body change a lot. Mm-hmm. And then when he left, like he got like thin, like Tooth Fairy Game Plan era, Disney movie era of The Rock is. I mean, he's still in good shape. Like he's still does. It's not like he looks like a regular dude, but he doesn't look like what we know him as now.
Yeah, your recall of all his movies, that's amazing. I was like, oh yeah.
That's the one I couldn't remember was Game Plan. I like Game Plan.
I love that movie.
That's the football one, right?
Yeah, that's Never Say No Joe. He's a big Elvis fan, so he worked Elvis into the whole movie.
Elvis coming out with a new movie.
Yeah.
we gonna tell the story, or we gonna tell the story? They ain't gonna tell the story.
About how he stole everything? That part of the story?
No, we're not telling that story.
Are we gonna tell the story about how like stations didn't play Elvis because they thought he was black? You want to get back to the use of the N-word? They're like, we're not playing this. We're not playing this. Hey, King of Rock and Roll. Go ahead and have it. Game 1 of the NBA Finals coming up here. What's that?
Sports.
He has no idea how difficult laying all of this out with Olivia can be.
I enjoy it. I love it.
Well, I know you do, because you don't sweat over it. You're just like, yeah, no, whatever we do. If we're spending 20 minutes on thighs, let's spend 20 minutes on thighs. ain't nothing to worry about. We got the best of D'Lo and KC coming up in about 10 minutes, and then we'll head out to coverage of Game 1 of the NBA Finals. So I feel like Olivia committed. She's got the Warriors. Mm-hmm. KC, you waffled.
I mean, I didn't waffle.
You kind of did. You were like, well,
7-5, right?
Like you gave us like scenarios for both teams. Like who's winning this series?
You tell me first.
I don't do that. That's not my bit.
Oh man.
That's not my bit.
I'm officially going Celtics in 6.
Okay, I'll say this. I'm not going to say this team is good. I'll say, and I don't think this is a surprise given my tone this entire season. I want the Celtics to win. I really like Jason Tatum. My feelings aren't going to be hurt if the Warriors win. I think greatness is always a good story. And the greatness of Steph Curry, whether or not he wins the stupid MVP award or not, the greatness of Steph Curry is a great story.
Yes. I
feel like we win as NBA fans either way. But I really like this Celtics team, man. And I think if they can get past Golden State in this series, or get past, there's nowhere to go. If they get to the mountaintop and wind up winning the NBA Finals, this could be the beginning. And I don't mean a run where they win 2, 3, 4 titles in the next 5 years. I mean, this could be the beginning of a run where we're talking about them at least having finals appearances very, very regularly over the course of the next half decade or so.
The thing that I worry about with this series for the Celtics is, do they have enough in the tank? They've had a long playoff season. They've had some grueling matches. They've had some inexplicable losses. You know, I think they lost like 4 or 5 times at home in these playoffs. And that's put them in situations where they've had to battle back, or they've had to, make different trips that you probably wouldn't want them to make. Do they have enough in the tank? I'm still going Celtics in 6, though.
Warriors in 6. Let's get it, Dubs. Dub Nation!
Settle down, Olivia. There ain't no Dub Nation chance here.
Now we've got a voice for the Celtics. Now we've got a voice in the face for the Warriors. I want to clip that and save that. And every time we make fun of Warriors fans, it's Olivia going,
don't do that to me. Did you put Kenny's? I've always had nice legs. Did you put that on the board?
Oh, I
should be.
I like that one.
Dub Nation. Ain't nobody. Warriors been the Warriors for like 70 years. Ain't nobody said Dubs before 2015.
So what?
Dub.
We say it now.
I'm so jealous.
I still like the Kings. See, I'm nice to the Kings, even though they're not my ride or die. Like, I love them now. I love the fans. I'm not a hater, but I can love the Warriors at the same time. I think the jealousy.
That's the home team for you. That's the home team. It's all good. It's all good.
Were you rocking with the We Believe Warriors?
I was.
You've been a Warriors fan for a long time.
Well, I will admit I was a dry Warriors fan because they were terrible. They were recruiting me at one point out of high school. I was like, I don't know, guys. But I do understand the hate for Warriors fans, though. How they treat Charles Barkley. I know Charles Barkley said he didn't pick them. The fact that they were yelling outside of the stadium, I thought it was embarrassing. It was a bad look. And I agree that a lot of these fans are fair weather. They're new. They're tech bros from other parts of the country who have money, who can sit courtside, and they're not real diehards. I agree with everybody who hates Warriors fans for those reasons. But there are some old school Warriors fans out there who were waiting for a long time to be where we are and have been for the last 5-7 years. Mm-hmm. So for those fans, I'm excited for us.
Charles was about to shut up a couple of those Warriors fans.
Talking about their mom, I'm coming to your house.
He had that mug in his hand. He was like, yeah, go ahead. Throw one more thing.
Charles is about to have to cut some checks. And I wouldn't like
He would be like, I'm fine with it. I'll do it.